Okay, and we're back. And I have the entire bottom side of the wings and the fuselage sprayed with the polished aluminum. And up top, of course, fuselage is sprayed both sides. Came out pretty good. There are a few spots that aren't quite as shiny as other spots, but I mean that's okay. That is not going to hurt a darn diddly thing, because we're going to be doing some work on this anyways. We'll be weathering it down a little bit. It won't matter. So anyways, we're going to let this cure out for a while. Now the all clad paint sets up really quick, but it's still a little bit soft, and so I'm going to let that hang overnight like I did with the black base coat. And whoop, see, look, I missed spraying the aluminum on this. Now I got to go back and I got to dirty my airbrush again so I can spray that canopy frame. Okay, one other thing I wanted to show you here is this. I found, this is, I got through Sprue Brothers, 30-second Devastator decals, and I think this is the one we're going to do with the blue tail. It's got the numbers. Now, I got to do a little bit of research because I think I saw the full scaler with these numbers with the blue tail and blue cowl. This is showing it with a black cowl, but I gotta look at that again. And I also saw some from the same squadron that had the blue tail and the yellow cowl, which I thought was a really pretty combination with the yellow wings. So we'll have to noodle that out exactly what we're gonna do there. But decals are on the way for a blue tail. And then I just have to find, I just got to decide what color yellows I'm going to use. For the paint, I got a whole list of stuff. I got to go to Grand Rapids next week, so I got a whole list of stuff for riders, and hopefully they'll have everything I need here. But I'm thinking Tamaya has a blue, and I have some of that. It is just X4 blue. However, I'm a little afraid that it's too dark. Yeah, I'm afraid that's too dark for what we're looking for. It's almost bordering on black. So I think I gotta find a little bit lighter color blue. I don't know what Tamaya might have, but I'm gonna look for that down there. And then the yellow. Now I have some Mission Models yellow, and this I think would work quite well. I think that color is a pretty good match. So I don't have very much of this though, so I think this is what I'm gonna use for the yellow on the wings. So I just gotta narrow down a blue. But so because of that, I'm kind of at a standstill unless we build landing gear and get that all ready to go, which we can do. That is not a problem. So let me consider what we're going to do, and I think maybe we'll go ahead and work on some landing gear. So let me get geared up for that, and I'll be right back. So we're back at it here. I went ahead and did some of the airbrushing here. And landing gear struts, I went with all clad dark aluminum. So this one here, I don't know if you can see that. C103 is the number on that one. And then I went ahead and I sprayed. These are the doors that go on the underside of the fuselage that cover the window that the pilot can look through on his bombing run, or the bombardier looks through, I guess I should say, not the pilot. So those doors, I sprayed the exterior with the polished aluminum, and the interior, I went with the dark aluminum on this, just for variation, no other specific reasons there. I just went with the dark just to give it a different look. The wheel centers have been sprayed, and I just used straight up all-clad aluminum on those, and they'll get assembled and popped into those tires. Now, we're going to paint, so there's this line, this is, I don't know what this little line is. Maybe it's must be a brake line. I'm going to go with a brake line. I'm guessing that's what that is. So I painted that with just some Vallejo silver, and I have not touched this one yet. And then just a little bit of black on the little mounting brackets for it. So we're going to go ahead and do that here, and then I've got a chrome Molotov pen, liquid chrome. This stuff is great, and you can get it in different size tips. And this is a very small one, and we're going to use that on this area right here. This is where the strut would compress, so it would be chrome, very, very smooth, very, very shiny. So we're going to use the pen on that. But let's go ahead, and I had to put my magnifiers on for this little tiny stuff. Let's go ahead and paint this brake line, the silver. And now this doesn't look that much different than what's on there, but I don't want it to look all exactly the same, because then it doesn't have character, personality, however you want to look at it. To me, if everything is all the same color, it tends to look more like a toy. So that's why I use varying shades of silver, because not everything out in the wild is going to be the exact same color of silver. I got a little tiny piece of flashing here I need to remove on that brake line once it's dry, but nothing big at all. Okay, so we got that, and now we're going to use our Molotov pen and I have bigger ones of this, which would knock this out really quick, but then I'd probably get the chrome paint all over everything else too. So that's why I'm using this fine tip. And you can already see a difference here. Maybe you can see a difference. I'm gonna get a picture of this and I'll put it up. Once they're done, so you can see that. But this stuff is really good. This is really nice chrome paint. It actually looks like chrome. So there's one done. this one here. And I have never seen a reason why you would have to go back and do another coat of this. It covers really well. Just get it the first time and walk away. And let it set. And that is really convincing. That is really a nice look, I think. And again, you'll be able to see it better in the photo I'm going to post. Okay, so just to give you an idea, here's one of my other Molotow pens. You can see how fat that tip is, which is great if you're doing a larger. I haven't even used this one yet, it's brand new. And then there's multiple sizes. I've got this one also. This one's just a tube. You can dump this out. I'll decant this into my sprayer, into my airbrush, and spray it sometimes, and it works really well. So Molotow, you can get these on Amazon. I would highly recommend them. Okay, so the last thing we're going to do here, we got to be careful with this because the all-clad is a lacquer. So we have to be careful. We're going to use our panel line accent here, and the panel line accent will eat up the all-clad. So we want to just touch and leave it alone, because if you like try to wipe it or do anything like that with it, it's gonna take off. I'm afraid it would take off the all-clad. And that's something I had to figure out for the fuselage, because normally I would use this panel line accent for aging the fuselage panel lines and whatnot, but that requires me to go back and rub those lines some, which I think is going to be a problem for us. Okay, so we're just highlighting the edges. That's all we're doing here. Just highlighting. And those are coming out really nice. Spot I missed. Okay, so there, our landing struts are done. Oh, let's do, hang on here. We got the locks. So let's get some accent on those. Okay. And I guess these inner doors, we can go ahead and touch these. I'm assuming these are lightning holes that they've put in here for the inner structure. So then you have the outer skin that covers those holes. But let's just throw a little bit of accent in these to give them a little personality, like that. Okay, that's going to
wrap it up for this build segment. I just wanted to pull up this photograph and show you the color scheme I have chosen on. And we are going to be modeling the 6th section from USS Enterprise. Now there were a total of 6 sections, and they were all identified by different cowl colors. So like section 1 was red, section 2 was white, section 3 was blue, 4 was black, 5 was green, and 6th was yellow with the cowl stripes. Now you'll also notice 66 off to the far right there in the photograph, the lower part of the cowl has half a white stripe, where 65 directly in front of 16 has the upper half of the cowl painted white. I'm guessing the variation in these markings are meaningful to the people that are in flight, as in different squadron leaders, flight leaders, however they had it broken down. So I really like 6T16's color combination with the yellow cowl, yellow fuselage band, blue tail, and of course the iconic yellow pre-war wings. So this is our final scheme. I've got the decals. We are ready to go as far as painting goes. So coming up next, in the next video, you'll be seeing some paint work done. So until then though, this is Xcraft from the hangar signing off, and keep your fingers out of the glue.